So welcome to the Potted RV. My name is Constance, and this is a little bit different of a setup because of the fact that we're inside the RV rather than out in the garden area. That's because this is kind of an unscripted video. It's more on the lines of more of a review video for a seed company and going over my method of seed storage, which is dramatically different compared to other people's methods of seed storage. It's more designed for long-term growing and storing seeds than short-term. A couple of seasons, a lot of the other ways work perfectly well, but I have seeds in here that are over 10 years old that I still get a good germination rate on because of the way I store them. I store them in airtight jars, and this method works really well for long-term storage. But if you are new to gardening, this is not the way I would recommend you go. I would recommend, in all honesty, new to gardening, it sounds so funny, but my biggest recommendation is a shoebox. It's inexpensive and you can keep everything organized. You're going to outgrow it. I did very quickly. I outgrew it by the time I was 11. But in fairness, I think I started with a shoebox when I was 10, because when I learned how to seed store, shows how Southern I am, I learned to, everything went into a Ziploc bag, into a bigger Ziploc bag, and then into the refrigerator, into your freezer. That's called stratification. Anytime you put seeds into a freezer, even overnight, you're stratifying them, and that works remarkably well for seeds that, I had a hairstylist that cut my very curly hair into layers that when you do curly hair, you can't do it like that. So I still have problems with my hair end up randomly in weird places. But you can't do that with all kinds of seeds. You can cryo freeze seeds for long-term storage. There's several seed banks in the world that do cryo freezing. But the problem with that is I'm not running around with a whole bunch of nitrogen. I'm not doing cryo freezing. I am long-term storing, and I have seeds in here that do not handle being frozen. Some seed varieties, if you freeze them, they die. They're done. You can't get them to germinate for nothing. So I don't store my seeds in the freezer anymore. And I started storing them in a shoebox. I think I was 11 or 12 when I did so, and I grew out of it pretty quickly. It's not hard to do. Now, and I didn't go to this method until about 3 years ago. I went with the photo cases that you see all of the other YouTubers using and talking about for the longest time. They were a couple years back. I tried those, and I used them for probably 3 or 4 years. The problem I had with them is they are clear, and there's no even attempt at climate control. You want them cool but not frozen, at least when you're dealing with seeds that don't handle stratification. So you want something that keeps the climate at a steady range. It can fluctuate, but you want it to do it slowly. So my method is these, and I will put a link in the description down below. It will be an affiliate link. These are Amazon, and I am affiliated with Amazon. I do mark all of my affiliate links. If they're affiliated, they have a little asterisk with affiliate in them, no matter what. So I mark my affiliate links because I want to make sure that there's no question about whether it's an affiliate or not. Even if I say it in the video or I forget to, it's always in my description marked with asterisks that it is an affiliate. And it comes with this. This is a funnel. It's a seed funnel. It's not big enough for some of them, but it does work somewhat. The downside to it is because it's made of silicone, some of the seeds stick to it. It drives me nuts. So I don't use it most of the time. This is carries more varieties, but doesn't have the bigger seed storage containers as the other two I have. So I do this in 3, and that's because of organization, not because I actually need 3. I mean, it lifts up, and this one carries 144 little vials, and I mark all of my vials with what it is. I also mark the year that it was either harvested or purchased. This one is my German time. This one is one I harvested. I do it this way because I want to know that everything in this particular one is herbs and flowers. So when I go to grab something that I know I'm going to be putting in an herb spot or flowers, I don't have to go digging. I know it's in this container. And the other ones, grab here. They are also 2 layers rather than 1. They are 2 layers, but they have 8 of these, which are much larger. So like this has rattlesnake bull beans in it, and it's a much larger container, holds bigger seeds. I have wheat and barley and other things that I have a lot of them. Excuse me. So I want to make sure that I have big enough containers to store them, because I do keep those. And I do actually grow them on occasion, but wheat is one of those that is basically 11, 12 months from germination to harvest. They're a long period. You're going to be waiting a while. Now, when I typically use those is when I'm putting a bed out of commission for a season, giving it. Usually, it's right after I've put beans in it, beans or peas, and I will cycle in those, and then it goes from there. It would go out of commission after the wheat was harvested, go out of commission for a year, usually a season, because Arizona has a year-round growing season. So it was usually a season. But I still keep them, and I still have them, because living in an RV full time isn't meant to be permanent. My husband and I are doing this so that we can save up to maybe not necessarily debt free, but minimally debted, purchase a farm. I grew up on a farm, and it's what I have intended to do all my life. I turn 41 next month, so we decided that given the situation with the economy and I don't care who you voted for, the political climate at the moment, this was going to be our safest way to be able to do what we wanted to do with farm and not drive ourselves deeply into debt. It's very easy to do, and this is how I decided this was going to be the best way for us to do it, and for our family, especially given the fact that we have a 2-year-old. I didn't want to lessen my son's quality of life by limiting what he can have and what we can do for him and what we can go and do together as a family, and still be able to meet my husband and I's life goals. So this isn't meant to be a permanent. It's meant to be a year, maybe 2 years. That's how we were looking at it. While we're at it, we're restoring this RV. We deliberately purchased this fifth wheel with the intention of restoring it. It's a very pretty fifth wheel. It needs a lot of exterior work. Interior wise, my husband replaced the floors and did some minor things, and it's a beautiful fifth wheel. I do plan on replacing these, but I'm getting way off topic. I do happen to love this fifth wheel. So I decided to do this video kind of on the fly for Friday's video right before Mother's Day. This covers what I'm going to plant for Mother's Day weekend, as well as how genuinely, shockingly impressed I am with the seed company that I purchased these seeds from. Now, I will be honest with you. I have wanted to try this company for many, many years, longer than the current owner has owned it, but I hadn't ever gotten around to trying it, mostly because I'm a creature of habit. I tend to I'm sorry. I want to look at the camera view like I normally do, but my husband is doing work in the background, so right there where the camera's at, I can see him, and it's driving me crazy. So I keep doing this and looking away from. That's why. It's so that I don't get so distracted. I tend to stick with the company I'm familiar with, and then when my budget is a decent. All right. So when I go to purchase seeds, what I tend to do is I have a particular budget and I try to stay within that budget. My husband will point out that I'm not the greatest at doing that. I don't typically go dramatically overboard, but I do tend to go like $3 or $4 overboard. To him, that's way overboard, but I do. Anyway, what I tend to do, because I am such a creature of habit, is I go with the seed company to start with that I'm familiar with, that I have worked with for years and years and years. And that seed company is True Leaf Market. I've used them for probably over a decade. I've used them for a very, very long time. So I tended to start with them first, and I'd pick up ones I'd randomly see at Walmart. I don't touch, I think it's Morris Ferry or Ferry Morris. I don't touch them because I've had really terrible germination rates. And when I go to purchase one, like I purchased the Scarlet Runner beans that died out here, they were purchased from them. And it's not that all of those died. There were only 4 seeds in a packet. Scarlet Runner beans, 4 seeds total in the entire packet. The packet was almost $3. So that's almost like 75 cents a seed. It's very, very expensive for a bean. Scarlet Runner beans in particular. That variety of beans been around forever and ever. It's not a rare variety. So when I opened it up and it only had 4 seeds in it, I was very upset. And then I had garlic chives and some other things I had purchased at the same time, obviously from them as well. And I had horrendous germination rates to the point where I started over. I was not impressed. Now, I do purchase seeds from some Amazon seed companies. This one is Serenity Seed, and I'll put a link to them below. They are a very good seed company. Their information on the back of their packet's very basic, but I've had very, very, very good luck with them. I have been impressed with their germination rate. The health of the plants are really nice. So I'm not going to fault anyone for trying them. They are a decent seed company. Now, I don't have here, it might be in there. I don't have the one. I ordered one from Amazon, and I think I want to show it. And so I stopped the video because I'm trying to get it out of the container was shaking the table too much, and I'll edit the shake out of it. So I ordered this variety from an Amazon seller that looks like it's actually a small grower. I've never had seeds sent like this ever. This, but that isn't even my biggest issue with this. So, to get to why I started this video, and the main thing I was really wanting to point out was how impressed I am with the seed company I just recently received seeds from. Now, I have watched them for many years, since before the current owner owns it, and I will link both his channel as well as the seed company itself, because he is a big YouTuber. It's probably not who you think, or it might be. It's not Maya Gardner. I have tried a few of his, and I do like his. I absolutely love several of the varieties that he provides. But this is actually Botanical Interests, and I was blown away, and that's saying a lot from me. I was genuinely blown away at the quality of the packaging, the huge amount of information that's on the back of this package, as well as let me tear this one open. My son's not going to be happy because I promised him he could keep them. But the amount of information that's inside the package as well, that really impressed me. This first seed company I've ever seen that gives over this much information. But the bigger thing, and this was something that caught my attention when I decided, instead of going and purchasing where I normally do, because my garden is entirely 100% container garden, I knew I was going to be looking for container varieties. And I had remembered Kevin over at Epic Gardening saying that they had a lot of container varieties there. Now, I know True Leaf Market has some, but they don't have a huge selection, and I do know that. And so I decided I would start this year with them. And genuinely, I've looked over seed catalogs. I look at seed catalogs even in the wintertime. I enjoy looking through seed catalogs, and most gardeners do. Just enjoy it. This is the largest selection that I've seen that is container variety across the board. Now, I don't know if he has trees. I know he grows trees, so I do think he probably does, but I don't know for certain if he does. So, I'm not sure. I would bet you he does. But back to this grower. What disappointed me was I went ahead and ordered this on a whim because I knew I wanted this variety, and I saw that it was a small business, and I like supporting small business, so I went ahead and ordered it. Same variety. It's exact same variety. This has 20 seeds in it. This had close to 50. This cost me almost $7. This you can see right on the package, and it was $2.69. So this is dramatically overpriced, and I don't know why she's so high priced. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. Needless to say, I won't order from her again, but I will try these. Just because I don't know, I ordered them, I'm going to try them. It's just how I am. Botanical Interests is the only seed company I've ever ordered from that I've received something I didn't order. I received a thank you gift from him, which really impressed me because of not because of the fact that it's a thank you gift, but because of what it is. It brought back memories. The reason why I had started watching Kevin from Epic Gardening, and I've started watching him long ago, long before his channel was really big. In fact, he was very small. I don't even think he was monetized when I first started watching him. But I started watching him because he's in San Diego. He's in I think he's 10A, 9B, somewhere in there. He's in a very similar grow zone as I was in Arizona, but more importantly, he's also in a very dry climate. And Arizona, especially down in the Sonoran Desert, which is where I was, is extremely dry. The Sonoran Desert is the wettest desert on Earth, but it's still a very desert. It has 2 months out of the year that it rains, otherwise, you don't see rain at all. So, I wanted to find someone whose growing habits were going to mimic similarly to my own because of the dry climate. And that's why I originally started watching him. I was really impressed with his information, although he used to drive me crazy because a lot of times his video, well, wasn't a lot of times, almost all of his videos when he first started off with guaranteeing something, usually something stupid. It was not something he could provide, but you couldn't provide it. It wasn't an intangible, it was an intangible item. I think he was doing it to be funny, but it annoyed me. But I stuck around despite that entirely because his information's there. He's very informative and really do appreciate the information he gives, especially to newer gardeners where you don't know necessarily where to start. Now, I do realize that I'm small enough channel that it's unlikely anybody watching me is not going to know who Epic Gardening is. But he is actually one of two channels that inspired me to start my own channel. Not that I've ever talked to him personally, I have not. But I've watched him for so many years. And I've watched him grow from nothing. I watched him grow from a couple of raised beds out in his front yard to a very nice, pretty little urban homestead. It's really cute. The other one that inspired me was Self-Sufficient Me. That's Mark from Self-Sufficient Me. His growing zone is more like Florida, although he's in Australia. It's similar to Florida. I don't do Florida. I don't like that much rain. It rains a lot here. We have over 30 inches of rain here a year. Arizona, where I lived, had less than 13 inches of rain a year. So it's a very dramatic difference that I'm dealing with in rain. But I'm getting there. I'm learning to go with it. And one of the biggest things that really impresses me is the fact that I do, on occasion, do garden consulting. I haven't taken on clients here, but I did in Arizona on a frequent basis because my husband owned a landscaping company. He worked on the side. He's a mechanic, but he actually, we're both a bit of workaholics. We both had to slow down after our son was born and have to remember that we have to pay closer attention to our family life. So that's part of this, is just taking a step back. And because I did garden consulting and I haven't taken on any here because I'm wanting to get used to the climate before I do so. Climate's similar to what I grew up in, but there are differences. Differences enough that it's thrown me off. It gets colder here than it did where I grew up. I grew up about 3 hours southwest of here. Southeast, not southwest. Southeast. It's enough of a difference for me to be step back and go, I don't want to give anyone advice here yet until I'm comfortable with the growing patterns here. That's the reason why I am so blown away with Botanical Interests, is the level of information that is on these seed packets. That is a shocking thing to me. Very few seed companies I've ever seen have any more than that basic stuff on the back. I've seen some that have a flip out that give a little bit more information. But this, the one that brought back memories, was actually this is mescaline lettuce. This was a lettuce variety that Kevin, a few years ago, had recommended for starting in hotter climates. I never got around to trying it. Most lettuces in Arizona, you get into about end of March, early April, it's going to bolt. It's already too hot. It's going to bolt. You start those in January if you have any hope of starting them at all. But guys, I'm telling you, I am blown away by the sheer quality of the packaging. I've never had a seed company send me it in a box. I only ordered 5 seeds. Now there was 6 packets sent to me, and a little thank you gift of Nature's Willow, which I always found hilarious when it says that willow bark is often called nature's aspirin. That really I find absolutely hilarious. Aspirin's made from willow. You can look that up. You can verify it. It's definitely made from willow. That's what it's made from. That is aspirin. It's just not condensed into an aspirin tablet. It is aspirin. This does have a little bit of aspirin in it, but its main active ingredient is actually menthol. But I love the stuff, and I had my husband put the little package that came in with this in the truck for him because he tends to go to my purse and grab it. I use it on a regular basis because it doesn't have a scent. So I don't end up having my 2-year-old son going around thinking he smells like flowers, although he doesn't mind smelling like flowers. But more so because my husband doesn't want to go around smelling like flowers, so I tend to keep unscented stuff in. So I was really, really pleased. I was really, really pleased overall with the quality. And I'm telling you guys, I've never had a seed company put this much effort into an order. I've ordered from quite a few of them. True Leaf Market is the first one I ever ordered from. I've ordered from Gurney's, M.I. Gardner. God, I'd have to go through and pull it out. I've got a list of them. And I still order from Gurney's on occasion, and M.I. Gardner. Like I said, the only one I really won't touch anymore is Morris Ferry or Ferry Morris. It's one of them that you can buy in Walmart. And I don't touch them because I've had really terrible luck with them, so I don't tend to mess with them. But I had to redo this video, which is kind of hilarious, because I went through, did the whole